Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I know you guys have been waiting for this particular video, and I don't know where you are going to watch it from. Personally, I'm in Kisumu. Kisumu is fine, and it's my hope and prayer that the video is also going to find you guys in good health. Please let me know where you're watching this video from. Who is behind George Lushiri Wajackoya's presidential bid in this country?
Export. Because if a sack of marijuana can give us $3.4 million, 100 is enough to pay off the Chinese debt. Now waende kabisa, wakwende huko. We have young engineers from Nairobi University, civil engineers from Kenyatta University, Kenya Army Brigade on engineering, who can do this work. Mchinese anatoka huko anakuja hapa, hajui hata Kiluya, hajui Kisheng, kazi yake konnichiwa, come on. Alafu yeye ndio nyapara wa.
That's the question which most Kenyans are currently asking. Who is behind Wajackoya's bid for the presidency?
Parliament has just raised the national debt ceiling from 9 trillion to 10 trillion. As one of the people running for president, how would you deal with this? And what is your view, first of all, of raising the debt ceiling?
The issue of raising the debt ceiling is not going to be there because you have the solution. And that solution is in growing marijuana, which will enable this country to clear off all the outstanding debts, pay off the debts, have enough money for all Kenyans wherever they will be, either inside the country or outside the country, so that we can sustain and arrest the situation before it comes out.
So what is your projected revenue from marijuana?
Well, if one sack of marijuana, and I'm not talking of those sacks that you see people carrying on, there is special sacks of marijuana which are scientifically made for marijuana. And if one sack of marijuana is $3.2 million US, one sack of marijuana, $3.2 million US, if you convert that into Kenyan currency, and if you grow 1,000 acres of land for marijuana, and you harvest more than 1,000 bags of marijuana, then definitely.
What you're talking about, Prof, is illegal.
Yes, it is illegal.
So how do you want to convert this? In a country that is reeling from debt, you know very well that our debt right now is at 8.2 trillion shillings against a nominal GDP of 10.7 trillion shillings, meaning for every 10 shillings, we have to pay back 7 shillings. And you're telling me that marijuana will sort this out? You
know, I'm not that stupid. Just look at me and look into my eyes, Mr. Trevor Mbeja.
I am.
I'm talking of legalization of the product. Once we legalize, that is going to be the position.
Because the truth of the matter is that the entry of Wajackoya is complicating the equation for both Raila Odinga and the Deputy President, Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto, who is behind his bid. The other question which Kenyans are asking is who is behind Wajackoya's popularity in this country. Wajackoya the 5th was trending on Twitter on 3 consecutive days. In this country today, you can't talk politics without mentioning the name Wajackoya. Who is behind his popularity? And what are some of the objectives of Wajackoya's entry into the 2022 politics?
Everything.
You've done everything.
Yeah, that's when I see people saying bottom up, so you wheelbarrow, wengine nasema 6,000. I look at them as people who are failures in life. The question is how? Wewe unataka kutuletea sijui nini? Alafu na tuonyeshe mahali pesa iko. Okay. Ama mtaendelea kuenda kuomba pesa kila siku 2 billion. President anakuja anasema mimi nimeshindwa. We are borrowing 2 billion every day. So tuonyeshe kwanza vile imeandikwa. Is it 100 billion or 2 billion? Zingine zinaenda wapi za KEMSA? But with me I'm telling you kuna kale kakitu tukipanda ako kakitu. Tutakapeleka nje manake gunia moja eko kakitu is 3.2 million US dollars.
Si hata hiyo itakulwa tu.
Hawezi kulwa kwa serikali yangu. So tutanyonga wewe.
In this video today, I just want us to talk about Luchiri George Wajackoya. For those who've been following this gentleman, he's always had this interest of serving the country. But when he declared his interest in this election, personally, I never thought he would be a factor. But Wajackoya is proving to be a factor in this upcoming general election. Which begs the question, who is behind Wajackoya's entry into Kenyan politics? I want to ask you guys a few questions. Maybe you could also let me answer them. The first question I want to ask you is, how did Wajackoya manage to secure the required signatures for him to be allowed to run for the presidency? Because initially when he submitted the signatures, he was sent back. Roots Party, the way I know it, doesn't have structures around the country. The other truth is that Roots Party might not have even enough candidates across the country. How did Wajackoya manage to collect signatures? Mwangi Wairia of Usawa Party was also given an opportunity to go back and fix the signatures. He could not.
We want to know the specifics. It is not a game.
Okay.
We are not illiterate.
Okay. Governor, lastly, before I let you go, you have barricaded this road for about 5 hours.
Barricaded the road.
But the other people are not accessing this place.
I think you don't know what you are saying. Instead of saying they have locked the gate, you are saying you have barricaded the road.
But your vehicles are here.
You see, I think you need to use right English. Instead of saying they have blocked the gate, are you part of IBC?
No, Governor. But
no, you look like the
no.
Because me, I'm getting in. I'm waiting for them to open. So who has done what? I think don't be the agent.
Anyway, Governor, I've seen the police officers ask you to leave.
Lastly, I want to tell them one thing. I am in politics. They can play all their games. I'll push them all to the end. If by the end of the day they will not register me, I'll convert my party into an assistance movement.
Wajackoya managed to collect the signatures and submitted to IBC, and it was cleared who collected the signatures. Only two possibilities. Number one, either the system, through their own systems, is facilitating Wajackoya. So once he submitted the signatures and some were rejected, they easily collected additional signatures for Wajackoya. So that's the first scenario. The second scenario is that probably Wajackoya is serving political interest of either Ruto or Raila. And therefore, these guys helped him collect the signatures. It's not easy getting 2,000 signatures in at least half of the counties. It's not easy. So that's the first question. How did he manage to collect? For me, I want to assume that Wajackoya was aided by the system to collect those signatures. Wajackoya is part of the system. This guy was a police officer, highly educated, is in the country, is running. Having been part of the system, I don't rule out the possibility of Wajackoya still serving the interest of that same system. I could be wrong. The second question I want to ask you, who is his brand manager? Who are Wajackoya's brand manager? Who are managing the image or the brand Wajackoya? Because those guys are doing a fantastic job. Today in this country, I was walking in Kisumu, I saw someone donning Wajackoya's shirt. They are being sold across the country like hotcake. It's trending on Twitter, on Facebook, all platform, TikTok and the rest. He's getting the right publicity. So the question is, who is behind brand Wajackoya? Who is managing his publicity? Who is managing his PR? Who is managing his communication strategy? I see the hands of a deep state. The third question I want to ask you guys. Wajackoya is running for the presidency. You've seen the way he's putting on his dressing code and the rest. Who are his target voting bloc? Who are his target voting bloc? If you ask me, I'm looking at the youths. I'm also looking at the undecided as his target voting bloc. And why would he target those specific people? Wajackoya was sitting in Laikipia and he was received massively. The other day was in Kirinyaga. Everybody was excited to see Wajackoya. Even Dida could not get this kind of attention Wajackoya is getting in this country. So who are his target voting bloc? And the last question which I want to ask, what is the general game plan of Wajackoya? What does the entry of Wajackoya into the 2022 politics supposed to achieve? The truth is, Wajackoya cannot become the next president of the Republic of Kenya. But the other truth is that Wajackoya can get even over 1 million votes, which begs the question, what is the game plan? Is the game plan to occasion a runoff, or is the game plan to deny someone some votes? Again, in case you are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue. Thank you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. So please, from bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for your continued support. Give the video a thumbs up, drop your comments, and for those who can share, please share this video to your friends. Now, let me move to now the strategy. I have three theories that Wajackoya could just be running for the presidency. I don't rule out possibility. Number two, I also see the possibility of Wajackoya's candidature being propelled by the deep state to achieve other objectives. Then it could also be a strategy of other candidates to interfere with other candidates. But let us look at the general strategy. And my thinking is that Wajackoya is working for the system. And the first strategy or game plan is a runoff. Initially, there were plans to force Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka to be on the ballot. The idea behind making Kalonzo to be on the ballot was to occasion a runoff, because there was fear that Ruto was likely to defeat Raila Odinga. And therefore, to stop him, there was need to occasion a runoff and then ask Kalonzo to come back later. But the system observed how Raila Odinga was performing, how the entry of Martha Karua aided him, and therefore they decided to keep Kalonzo out of the race. But they still needed someone to help them achieve objectives. The objective of a possible runoff. And I was reading a tweet sometimes back, I think last week, where Akombe was like, after it became apparent that only 4 people were clear to run for the presidency and Kenyans were excited. I remember Akombe, former commissioner with the IBC, warning Ruto that when the number is few, it's possible and it makes it easy to play with algorithm. That's where I'm looking at. that someone will be monitoring the performance of these guys through the computer. Then specific votes will be allocated to Lushiri Wajackoya. Because the question is, based on the hype around Wajackoya, based on the publicity, if today we were to go for an election and someone gives Wajackoya 1.2 million votes, will you deny that he can't? Will you deny? I was reading a comment, I don't know from whose post, and he asked people whether they can vote for Wajackoya. And the majority of people are saying, he has my vote, he has my vote, he has my vote, he has my vote. So the truth is, unless something is going to happen, Wajackoya has the votes. He can get 1 million votes. Whether those votes are real or not, he has that ability. So if someone will say Wajackoya has received 1.2 million votes, no Kenyan will deny. And that's why you are seeing this hype, you are seeing this publicity. Number two, I'm looking at his target voting bloc, which is the youth. If you have Ruto and you have Raila, who enjoys the support of the youth in this country, perceptionally? Ruto enjoys, perceptionally, the support of the youth in this country. That's the honest truth. That's the honest truth. There's no lie about that. Now, if you bring Wajackoya and you target those votes, what are you doing? Simple. You are trying to deny William Ruto a voting bloc. So that if, for example, Ruto enjoys 80% of the youth support, then you bring Wajackoya, then Raila enjoys 30, then you bring the Wajackoya, then Wajackoya will get more of those supports from Ruto side. Those are the realities of life. So I'm looking at a possibility of someone sitting somewhere and figuring out that the best way for me to lock William Ruto out of this thing is to target the youth votes. Let me have the youth. Let's have Wajackoya here. Hype around it. Give him media publicity. Let him move. Let people embrace him. Let matatus draw images of Wajackoya. Let Wajackoya become a serious brand. So there are Kenyans who will wake up, go to the booth, polling booth, cast their votes for Wajackoya. But the target here is the youth voting bloc. And lastly, you can't rule out the possibility of Wajackoya being placed there strategically for rigging purposes. You can't rule out that. Kenya's election is one of the most expensive elections in the country, in the world. Then again, it's again one of the most direct elections, but easily manipulated. So if Wajackoya is running, Raila is running, Ruto is running, then you want to play with some votes. Let's say you want to play with the 1 million votes somewhere. So you just be allocating them to Wajackoya. Just be allocating them to Wajackoya. Then when tallying is done, he has denied the person they don't want votes. Yeah? And after denying that person the votes, the other guy will win. So that's how this thing, in my view, is designed. I don't know what you think, but I think the entry of George Lushiri Wajackoya into the 2022 presidential race is something which will require further studies. Personally, I'll be keenly following the outcome of 2022 politics to understand whether Kenyans are just taking him for a ride, because Kenyans can also take you for a ride. They can make you appear to be loved. When that day comes, they don't vote for you. So I'll be keenly following the results to study Wajackoya. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. This video has been done due to public demand from you guys. Thank you and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.